What is going on, YouTube? It is your boy MrBaboon back with a reaction video. We have another Genghis Khan episode 3, part 3, whatever you guys want to call it. I'm gonna call it one of them. I don't know which one yet. Probably number 3, whatever. You know. First one was really good. Second one was pretty good. Really good. Both of these were good. Animation is really good. Like always, Extra Histories channel will be down below in the description. The video will be down below in the description. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications so that way you guys don't miss a video. So, we're gonna go ahead and get into this. So let's see. Reaction 1. Boom. Boom.
Tragic beginning, a daring escape, and a rise to power. The steppe has come to life with gossip. Could young upstart Temüjin be the one to defy custom and unite the Mongol clans under one ruler? Rumors of Temüjin's daring escape from Genghis' band traveled fast across the steppe. Respected prophets and religious leaders began to report that Temüjin's ascension to power was destined by the spirits, and Temüjin was 100% okay with that. He summoned his followers to participate in a council called a Kurultai, which was essentially an election. Families, lineages, and clans voted by showing up. Their presence served as an endorsement, or their absence as a vote against him. Attracting a simple majority counted as a victory. Unfortunately, the turnout was scarce. The majority of steppe lineages still supported Genghis. Temüjin could work with this, though. Having now gathered all of his allies in one place, he consolidated this small but loyal group to establish himself as a minor Khan. And thus, Temüjin became Temüjin Khan. He quickly sent an envoy to Ong Khan to reassert his loyalty and seek his patron's blessing, reassuring him that this new title was not meant as a challenge. Ong Khan was fine with it. He preferred that Temüjin and Genghis' ambitions stay focused against each other instead of him. With his patron's blessing secured, Temüjin built up a revolutionary system of government within his tribe. A Khan's court was known as an ordu, or horde, and traditionally the Khan's horde consisted exclusively of his relatives, and served as a kind of aristocracy over the rest of the tribe. Temüjin, however, assigned positions of power based on loyalty and ability, without regard for familial ties. He appointed butchers, cooks, archers, guards, and keepers of prized herds of livestock and horses. He also created an elite regiment of bodyguards to surround his camp at all times. Genghis, meanwhile, still refused to acknowledge Temüjin as anything other than an insolent upstart who needed to be put in his place. He carefully planned and bided his time, waiting for just the right moment to take Temüjin down. That moment finally came a year after Temüjin's Kurultai. One of Temüjin's followers killed one of Genghis' distant relatives during a cattle raid, and Genghis used this as a justification to attack Temüjin's camp with his vastly superior army, quickly routing Temüjin's forces. Then, to prevent them from regrouping and retaliating, Genghis perpetrated a horrific show of revenge, beheading one of the captured leaders and boiling 70 captive prisoners alive. Unfortunately for Genghis, this cruel show of force backfired hard, horrifying even his staunchest allies. By treating his enemies this way, he further emphasized the divisions between the old aristocratic lineages and the abused lower classes. Temüjin may have lost the battle, but this moment was a turning point in terms of public support and sympathy. More families flocked to join Temüjin's camp, and he slowly began to rebuild. In 1195, a 33-year-old Temüjin would be handed an unexpected opportunity in the form of a foreign raid. A group called the Jurchid approached Ong Khan asking him to raise an army and attack their enemies, the Tartars. For this raid, Ong Khan enlisted Temüjin's horde. Now, Temüjin had much to gain from this venture, so he gathered support of his own. He approached a small clan directly to the south of his camp, the Jurchen, and offered them spoils and glory in exchange for participating in the raid. The Jurchen gave their word. They were in. Shortly before the raid, Temüjin invited the Jurchen to a feast. Unfortunately, during the celebration, Temüjin's half-brother Belgate spotted 2 Jurchen attempting to steal horses. He identified one of the thieves as a renowned wrestler named Buri, and readied himself to fight the man as an equal, thinking that they would wrestle honorably. Instead, Buri drew his sword and cut Belgate across the shoulder, a grave insult. When the rest of the feast heard about this, it turned into a drunken brawl. And by brawl, I mostly mean food fight, because in keeping with tradition, everybody had left their weapons behind. Needless to say, when the time came to set out on a raid against the Tartars, the Jurchen never showed up to help. As with the Kurultai, absence constituted a vote of no confidence in Temüjin. Victory was swift and easy all the same, and the spoils were astounding. The Tartars had access to manufactured goods from the Chinese Empire, including silk clothes and blankets and gold and silver jewelry. Captured children wore luxuries the likes of which the ragged Mongols had never seen on anyone, let alone a child. The opulence was astounding. But more importantly, Temüjin saw clearly how the powerful Jurchen had just used one border tribe to fight another, and the lesson was clear. A tribe conquered today will rise up and have to be defeated again in an endless cycle of warfare with no decisive victory or lasting peace. Temüjin will remember this. With his newfound wealth, Temüjin was now prepared to push into the territories of smaller neighboring tribes. When he returned home to discover that the Jurchen had raided his camp while he was away, picking his first target became very easy. Now that he was an experienced, battle-tested commander, Temüjin and his mounted archers scattered the Jurchen with ease. With this victory in hand, Temüjin instituted another revolutionary change in ruling style. See, in the traditional cycle of Mongol raiding and counterattack, the defeated tribe was looted and a few key prisoners were taken, but the rest of the tribe was left alone. Historically, those survivors would then regroup and strike back, or seek out larger rival clans to join. Temüjin decided that this cycle was not in his best interests. After defeating the Jurchen, he summoned a Kurultai of all his followers and conducted a public trial of the aristocratic Jurchen leaders. For failing to fulfill their promise of joining him in war, and for raiding his camp in his absence, they were found guilty, and Temüjin had them executed.
What a sweet little orc village. Let's make some trees nearby.
After this, he went on to occupy the Jurchen lands and redistribute them amongst his followers. He then integrated the remaining Jurchen citizens into the households of his own clan, not as slaves, but as full members in good standing. He also adopted an orphaned Jurchen boy as his brother, giving him to his mother, Olun, to raise as her own son. Then, as a final show of force, Temüjin summoned all of his followers, including the newly adopted Jurchen, to a feast. For the event, he also summoned Buri, the wrestler who had started that great brawl by stealing horses and cutting Belgate. Temüjin ordered the two men to wrestle. Buri had never lost a match in his life, but he feared Temüjin's wrath and allowed Belgate to throw him. Normally, this would mean that the match was over, but Belgate and Temüjin had made their own plans. After winning, Belgate set upon the defeated Buri and broke his back. With this final merciless display, Temüjin had rid himself of all the Jurchen leaders and sent a clear message to all who might oppose him. If you surrender to Temüjin and remain loyal, there are great rewards to be gained. But if you betray him, there will be no mercy, and nobody, not even aristocrats, are safe. Temüjin moved his base of operations into Jurchen territory, continuing to conquer and attract lesser lineages. Meanwhile, Jamika worked to establish himself as a leader and advocate for the aristocrats, who feared the threat Temüjin posed to their traditions and way of life. Then, in 1201, once he had the full support of the aristocracy, Jamika made a play for the title of ruler of all Mongols. He summoned his own Kurultai and successfully bestowed upon himself the title of Gur Khan, an ancient and revered title which meant universal ruler. This was a strategic choice. Jamika chose this title not just because it was ancient and respected, but also because the last person to bear the title was Ongg Khan's uncle, who had ruled until Ongg Khan revolted and killed him. Jamika was not just challenging Temüjin here, but Ongg Khan as well. If he could win this war, he would be the supreme ruler of the Central Steppe. As Temüjin's patron, Ongg Khan came out personally to lead his warriors in the campaign against their rival. The battle was as much psychological as it was physical. Shamans lined the rocky cliffs along the battlefield, beating ritual drums to summon supporting spirits and control the weather. As they beat their drums, a massive thunderstorm gathered, which both sides attributed to the shamans supporting Temüjin. This shook the resolve of many of Jamika's warriors, and caused many to desert in fear of angering the spirits. Jamika was forced to retreat. Ong Khan chased after Jamaica and the main part of his army, while Temüjin gave chase to the Taichut, one of the clans loyal to Jamaica, and coincidentally, the clan that had abandoned him and his family decades before. They proved difficult to defeat. Both sides fought for hours, firing from horseback, from fixed positions behind rocks, or hastily assembled barricades. Toward the end of the day, a poisoned enemy arrow struck Temüjin Khan's neck, knocking him unconscious. Darkness fell, and both sides made camp on the battlefield to rest until daylight. Thanks to the aid of his loyal second-in-command, Temüjin recovered by the next morning. The Taichut didn't even know that Temüjin had been injured, and most of them had fled in the night. Temüjin sent his warriors in pursuit, and, as with the Jurchen, publicly executed their leaders and integrated the rest, taking over their lands. He also found the family who had helped him escape 30 years prior, and freed them from their servitude. Temüjin had won this fight, but Jamaica escaped Ong Khan and fled to more remote parts of the steppe to regroup and recruit new allies. Even without the Taichut, Jamaica still had many clans loyal to him. The final showdown was yet to come.
So, we're gonna get a nice little fight, I'm guessing, you know? So, we will learn about that. Well, I will learn about that tomorrow. You guys will learn probably next week, I think. Let's see. Part 2 is going to come out Wednesday. This part is going to come out Friday. So, yeah, you will learn about part 4 Monday next week. So, I will see you guys in the next one. Oh, and then part 5 will be Wednesday next week. And then part 6, the final part, will be Friday next week. So, I will see you guys in the next one. You guys stay safe, watch out for each other, all that good stuff. Positivity is key, motivation is key, happiness is key, positivity is key, all that good stuff. Okay, you guys watch out for each other. I'm gonna head out and all that other stuff. I got some other stuff I got to do. So you guys stay safe, subscribe, turn on post notifications, like the video. Let me know what you guys think about the little series down below that we are reacting to down below in the comments. I'll see you guys in the next one. You guys stay safe. Watch out for each other.